What is going on, guys? It's Sensei here, and welcome back to the Nerd Dojo. For today, a special Star Wars Day video. You know, it's May the 4th. People are going to be saying that cringy May the 4th will be with you line everywhere. I'm not personally going to say it. Just kidding, I probably will at the end of this video, but it's Star Wars Day. So today we're going to be doing a video I've been meaning to do for a little while. Solo comes out later this month, so this list is definitely destined to change, as it changes usually every year with the new release of the films, but definitely, this is my ranking every single Star Wars film in the franchise so far, including Rogue One. They're gonna be ranking them from worst to best, in my opinion. We're gonna start out with our worst one, Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones is really not that great of a film. Terrible dialogue, kind of iffy writing. The only real interesting thing that goes on is the Obi-Wan subplot. Nobody cares about the Anakin and Padme subplot, or at least I don't. Cheesy romance. The over-reliance on CGI isn't too bad, because that's just how the prequels were, but if you at least gave us good writing and good good writing and good dialogue, then yeah, I could handle it. The love scenes were terrible. Anakin's change to the dark side make him look so whiny and just dumb. Lines like, I don't like sand, and I killed them all, and every one of them, yeah, like, that's, no. It's just George Lucas is just, I don't know. Basically, the only good parts of this movie are Obi-Wan's subplot on Kamino and whatnot, and Geonosis, and also the Battle of Geonosis / the ending. Really, only the last half hour, maybe about half an hour to 45 minutes of this film is even worth watching, and it's like 2 hours long. So, yeah, Attack of the Clones is just kind of a bore fest, a snore fest. If I was watching a Star Wars marathon at a theater, I'd probably sleep through Attack of the Clones. It's the only one I would sleep during. At number 8, we have The Phantom Menace. Now, The Phantom Menace isn't much better than Attack of the Clones, but it's, you know, it's okay. It's just a kind of average Star Wars film. Whereas Attack of the Clones is a terrible Star Wars film and just a not very good film overall. Phantom Menace is just an average film, just maybe even a little bit below average. And it's definitely just an average Star Wars film. There's nothing really too huge or special that goes on in it. It's just kind of meh. It was the first Star Wars film to come along and revive the franchise and give it a new era with the new fans, a new trilogy and whatnot. It was the first to do that, and it definitely didn't get I don't think it definitely got as positive a reaction as The Force Awakens. But yeah, that's The Phantom Menace. It's not too great. At number 7, we got Rogue One. Surprisingly, this is the only one of the new movies that I'm not too much of a fan of. Rogue One was okay. It definitely feels as though it relies a bit too much on nostalgia or whatnot. I mean, but then again, that was The Force Awakens also, and I have it higher ranked, obviously, than this one. But Rogue One, I don't know. Its characters, there wasn't really any character writing or development. They were just kind of avatars that just kind of did their own thing. While the Battle of Scarif is probably my favorite Star Wars battle of all time, maybe second favorite. But the Battle of Scarif is definitely one of my favorites, and Scarif is one of my favorite planets. Just the aesthetics of Rogue One is beautiful, especially on Scarif. And that Darth Vader scene was godly, literally the best Vader scene ever. Made me want a trilogy of him, even though we already do with the prequel trilogy technically, but like an actual proper R-rated Vader trilogy would be so nice now. That scene was godly. Basically, the last hour of Rogue One is great. It's another one of those cases where the ending is great, the rest of it is The CGI advancements were pretty good. I thought that even though you can obviously tell that Tarkin of CGI, it's still a pretty good advancement. I do like how they use this film to advance technology. A lot of creative stuff went into it. However, I just wish more time would have went into writing the main characters. Krennic was very well written, though, and was the most elaborated on character. It's probably one of my favorite evil douchebags in the Star Wars galaxy. We're moving on to my number 6 spot. We have... No, I'm going to get hate for this one. My number 6 spot, out of the 9, is Empire Strikes Back. I'm not as much of the Empire Strikes Back fanboy as everyone else. It's a great film, it really is. It's a great Star Wars film, but I don't know, I just don't like it nearly as much as any of the... I don't know, I'm not as much of a fan of it as I could be. It's literally just... Yeah, it's there. I find that it's okay, but I think it's extremely overrated. That's not why I have it so low ranked. It is definitely overrated, but It's just, it's an awkward kind of, not really special film to me. I don't have any special feelings towards it. It's just there. It is cool. Cloud City's an amazing place. Bespin's an amazing planet. We do have the awesome I Am Your Father and whatnot. And obviously awesome John Williams soundtrack, Battle of Hoth, Yoda introduction. All this sort of great stuff happens. It's a very eventful film. I don't know. I just personally don't really like it too much. As compared to others, at least. My number 5 spot is the original Star Wars, or as you youngins know, even though I am a youngin, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I like this one. This is probably my most watched one, or one of my most watched ones, and that's probably why I have it above Empire. Empire is my least watched of the original trilogy, but maybe if I watched it more, I'd like it more. But I've seen each one of the original trilogy at least 30 times in my lifetime, I'd say, so I don't know. I just think that A New Hope is a relatively great film. It's what started it all. It's just a fun, I don't really want to say road trip in space type movie, but it's constantly moving. You're constantly moving from beginning to end. You get to see this hero's journey begin. It's just a classic. That's all I can really say about it. Number 4, we have the best prequel, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith was the best prequel. I love seeing this world, and it had the most tolerable writing out of the 3 prequels. It had its fair share of terrible dialogue, but I don't know. It's cool. You get to see. I like the connectivity of 3 and 4. I guess that's just one of the things I like so much about it. How it basically sets everything up. Even though 1 and 2 also set up 3, I don't know. I just like the setup for 4, and I think that it provides us a pretty nice, decent, very very dark Star Wars film. It gives us the CGI, excessive CGI, in a way that isn't like, I don't know, that actually works. They made great use of it in this film. You get to see the Clone Wars expanding. The first time we got to see the war in Star Wars, that insane type of way, that cool kind of way, that large scale kind of way. It was great. It was all over the place where it was going between Obi-Wan and Anakin, but it was great to see them two separate and eventually come together to have the formation of Darth Vader. Are Anakin's reasons kind of stupid for becoming Darth Vader? I'd say so, but I guess you do what you do for love. That's just kind of the way we are as human beings. On my number 3 spot, we got The Force Awakens. This was the first Star Wars film I saw in theaters. Well, technically The Phantom Menace in 3D, or the Clone Wars 2008 movie, but this was the first one that was actually a real Star Wars movie that counted, that I saw in the movie theaters. I was late because obviously I was younger, too young to have a job or anything, so I had to wait for my parents to be able to take me. December 23rd, 2017, I saw Star Wars The Force Awakens. I've seen this movie 15 times, 16 actually, 17? I don't know, 15, 16, 17, sometimes around there. I know that I love this movie. Is it just a rehash of New Hope? For the most part, yes. But it's a great film. It's just, it works as a film, it introduces us to new characters. It does the whole having the old cast and new cast together thing very, very well. Possibly the best of any film franchise ever. And I don't know, I was thinking that it thrusts us into the sequel trilogy and it gives us a great start. We don't get to see much of Luke Skywalker, but that's okay because that ending, it's just, I don't know, I liked all the new characters. I liked Rey back then better than I liked her now after The Last Jedi. And I like Kylo less then as I do now after The Last Jedi, but I still love Kylo, then he was still my favorite of the trilogy. But yeah, I mean, that's The Force Awakens. It was kind of, do I have a lot of feelings towards it? Yes, but I also know that this is my number 3 spot. It just is. It doesn't have to do with my personal feelings. Of course, obviously, these rankings do have a little bit to do with it. But I don't base my bias. I base them on how I think they are as films and where I think they are worthy. Not my bias towards the experience of seeing them. Number 2 spot. This is where I'm going to get hate. So much hate. My second favorite Star Wars movie of all time is The Last Jedi. I've seen this movie 6 times, and I know that it's great. I've seen The Last Jedi director and the Jedi director's commentary. Documentary twice, and I have plans on listening to the director's commentary. I bought the Steelbook. This is the first thing I've ever bought a Steelbook for, and a 4K Blu-ray player with the 4K version. It's just I went all out with my love for The Last Jedi. I love this film. It was a great film in my opinion. I think it doesn't deserve half the crap that it gets. I think that's an excellent film and honestly one of the best of the franchise. One of the most ballsy of the franchise as well. And my number one spot, we're going to end it right here with Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is my favorite Star Wars film of all time. For both personal bias reasons and just because I literally think it's the best. It's just so great. It's the perfect conclusion that won't ever be the conclusion ever again. It was how Star Wars should have ended, but I'm not opposed to it ending with other films in the future. I'm glad that Disney bought the franchise. That they've delivered two of my top 5 films of the franchise, and my passion for The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens is insane, but my passion for Return of the Jedi is even more insane. It's a great film with some great character arcs, some great, pretty dark film despite what people say. I love the Ewoks, get over it. I like porgs too, that's going to be another thing I get picked on for. But yeah, I don't know, I just think that it's a great film, and it's definitely not, in my opinion, the weakest of the original trilogy, and if anything, is the strongest of the original trilogy. So yeah, that's kind of it for my Star Wars opinions. I'm going to say the cringy line. Everyone, may the Force be with you. Star Wars Day. Until next time, if you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.